Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be doing sort of a mid-month review kind of thing because I just had my first DNF of the month, or of the year actually, first DNF of the year. So I'll be going over that, and then I'll also be going over, uh, I'm like halfway through the Dark Tower series. So I'm gonna like talk about the previous four books and like what my plans are for the next rest of the series because I wanted to read the extended series, but I don't know if I'll do that anymore. And I'll also talk about what I'm reading right now and some updates and some future plans, like some for my next video. I'm doing a little challenge. But yeah, let's get right into it. So the first thing I wanted to talk about today is this happened yesterday actually. I am about 250 pages into Wizard and Glass by Stephen King, and I'm just not really enjoying it right now. Like, it's like if you don't know, it's mostly just a giant backstory for the main character of the series, Roland, and I just felt like it was super long winded. It didn't make any sense. Like, and there's such a dramatic shift of writing style from the first, like the other books in the series, because like it goes back, I think, to Roland's youth. I mean, yeah, I mean that's what happens. Yeah. So it's like kind of like medieval talk. It's really weird. Like it's like I some expect this kind of thing from fantasy, but it's such a it's such a tone shift from the rest of the series, and I just don't like it. And it's also really confusing because I don't know who any of the people are. I feel like it's just not my time for this book right now, and I don't really know what I'm going to do about it. But I think I'm just going to table it for right now. I'm going to call it a DNF, but I'm just going to table it and save it for later. Maybe I'll come back to it in a couple months, maybe a month. So I'm kind of in a slump right now, and I think this is one of the root causes of it. But I just hope that I can remedy that with the book I'm reading right now. And so far, it's been going pretty well. So I'll talk about that later. But first, I'm just going to say right now, obviously, first DNF of the year. I think this is the worst Dark Tower novel I've read so far. I just don't like the backstory, but I'm going to continue on. I'm going to sort of do a little ranking of the Dark Tower novels. But yeah, so let's continue. When I first got into the Dark Tower and when I first started reading it, the thing I had heard from a lot of people is that the Gunslinger was like the worst book in the series, like really bad. Like actually, contrary to what Wizard and Glass was, I heard that was a really good book, but I just didn't enjoy it so far. Like I feel like it's kind of a commitment, massive book. But this book's really small. It's like bite sized, only like 250 pages. Already like what I'm in, already how far I am in Wizard and Glass. But this book actually was really fun. It had some nice action. I liked it a lot. It was like I think it was a 4-star read for me, and I don't understand all the hate for it, but I did enjoy this one, and I would recommend it because it's not as bad as people say it is. I've heard that there's like a revision in the past that like made it that made it better, kind of like how he fixed the stand. But I just really think that this book is actually really underrated, and I hope that everybody goes and gives it a chance. This book in the Dark Tower was another kind of slow start for me, but once it really started going, it really got going. It was like a book of two halves, where they had a main plot point where they're trying to reunite some of the main characters, and then a second plot point where they're trying to escape the city, and that would be the Wastelands. Third book. Um, Train doesn't come until much later. It's kind of weird how it's like the focus of the book. But this is the first Dark Tower book where I really started noticing the connections, and I felt so excited when I started noticing things. Like they're probably the most obvious things in the world, and they were actually some of them were pointed out in the book later. So it was kind of like, yeah, he meant for you to notice that, but you feel so smart noticing like, oh my god, that's a connection to that character or this character or that plot point in the first book, and it's just so gratifying. And I honestly love this one. It was very good. It's kind of long too, 600 pages, but it didn't feel that long. It felt like a good length novel. Not, it didn't feel slow at all, like the Wizard and Glass did. Like I think something I forgot to mention about Wizard and Glass is that the first 100 and like maybe 10 pages of the book are written like in the normal style, and I really enjoyed that part. It was super fun, like lots of discoveries, connections to the stand, and once it switched, it just turned everything off for me. I was like, I don't like this anymore. I don't know, and I have like 500, 600 more pages of backstory to slog through. It's like I don't really want to do that if I'm just to get back to the main story, but I'll have to eventually because I'm going to because I've heard a lot of good things about the Dark Tower and like especially like book five. I've heard a lot of good things about, but I gotta keep going. You can't stop now. You can't stop halfway. But I'm just gonna take a little pause, a little breather, kind of like what I did with Frank Herbert, where I got a little bit tired of his books after reading four of them in a row. so I just took a little break. But on to the best Dark Tower book I think I've read so far. I think you must know what it is now if you've ever read the series. So The Drawing of the Three by Stephen King, obviously, it's one of the Dark Tower books. I've heard a lot of really good things about this one before I read it, but this book was just nonstop action. Never took the pedal off the metal. You met some great characters in this book. The tension was through the roof, and the ending was actually really nice. Like tied everything together, and really made me like because I knew there were characters with certain names. Like certain characters came into the series, like just from like taking peeks at the back covers. But this is how you get to know the characters in the story, and I just loved it. And I don't know. There's not really much more I can say about it. It was pretty great, and I really hope that I can recapture this magic in some of the later books. Because like this, if this is the peak of the series, that's kind of a little bit disappointing because I've heard really good things about it. It was still a 5-star read for me, but like I just flew through this so fast. I wish this was longer. Like the style and the quickness and the speed of this book, the action was he never took the pedal off the metal. It was like constant action. It was so good. That's yeah, 5-star books. So I think I gave The Wastelands a 4.5 stars, but so far I rate the Dark Tower about 4.25 stars right now. It could be better, but there's some good parts, but there's some bad parts too. I can kind of see why there's mixed opinions about it, but hopefully I pick it up and enjoy it a lot more later. But anyways, so let's get on to what I'm reading right now to try and get out of my reading slump. And sorry if my like voice is scratchy or something like that. I have a sore throat right now. I'm a little bit sick, so that's why. Sorry, the audio probably won't be that great, but anyways, so what I'm trying to do to get out of my reading slump is I think I recommend this to anybody. I looked at the core cause of my reading slump, which is long, wordy book like Wizarding Glass, like 890 pages, like just like feels like I'm making no progress, and the prose just doesn't make sense. And I tried to fix both those problems with like a shorter book and one that has great prose. And for that one, I chose Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. So I'm about, I think, like 60, 70 pages in this right now, and I'm honestly loving it. Started it last night. Just woke up this morning recently, went to work a little bit, but this book is really good so far. It's super intriguing. I think I might have guessed the plot twist. It's pretty obvious. I think he makes it obvious what happened. But I think I have not seen the least of it yet, because this book is so fast-paced. Like, he just, like I said, like, for Drawing of the Three, he does not let up, but this book is really, like, just super aggressive pacing. I think that's exactly what I needed, because hopefully this will give me some momentum into my next, like, challenge video, which I'll talk about in a couple minutes. But I'm really enjoying this one, and it's just a great, like, breath of fresh air, because I haven't read sci-fi in a little bit. Like, the last sci-fi I read was The Martian, and that's not even really sci-fi, because it's more like just, like, tech. It's not like, it doesn't have, like, ideas. It doesn't have stuff like that. Like, it's just, like, based on stuff we can do today. Not like this one. Like, this one's, like, fundamental, like, future stuff, and I haven't finished yet, but I will make a review of this when I'm done. So, or it'll be in that one video I'll talk about in about a couple minutes. So, I 100% recommend starting this one. The pace is just great, and the writing is great. First person, super, like, intriguing concept, and I love it so far. So, I'd have to give it 5 stars so far, because I just have not wanted to put this book down. And I guess that's exactly what I wanted, to get out of a reading slump, you know? That's the best part of it. So, I have a couple updates right now. So, some of you may know from my previous videos, but I just graduated from high school, and I will be attending the University of Wisconsin-Madison this fall. And I am actually moving in, as of recording this, in 2 weeks. So that prevents some challenges because I'll be having coursework. I won't be able to read as much, but I'll have a literature class my first semester, so I might be able to make reviews of the books I read there. Maybe that'll give me a grade or something. I don't know. But I hope to be able to keep making videos, and I hope to be able to read as much. But I know that like class is pretty much like a full-time thing, and I'll try to as much. And another part of it is I won't be able to bring my entire bookshelf, my entire book collection in college, obviously. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm gonna have like 5 book rotations. Like every month, I'm gonna come home. I'm gonna bring back 5 books. So that's about what I've been reading a month, and I think that's a pretty good goal. So that's like 60 books a year, which is pretty great actually. But I don't think I'll get anywhere near that per month. Maybe like 2 or 3. But I'll just try and get consistent reviews out. I'll try and talk about, like, I'll try and get book videos out. If I decide to stop posting because it gets too much, I'll let you guys know. And then I'll probably start up again in winter or next summer, like during the breaks. But yeah, so I think I'm going to segue right into my next thing, is that, my next video I'm planning right now, after this one, this is just a little monthly update, like mid-month update, is I will be doing a challenge of sorts. Like I'm going to start with my shortest book that I have on my shelf that isn't like a super classic that I'm not interested in reading, or in the middle of the series. And I'm gonna read one book a day, increasing in length, and see how many days I can go. So I'm gonna start with Fahrenheit 451, which is one of the books I have right there. After I finish Dark Matter, because I already started Dark Matter, so it kind of makes no sense to just insert the challenge right now. But Fahrenheit 451 is a pretty short book. And then other books I have like There by Tommy Orange. I'm not going to be doing Wind Through the Keyhole because I haven't finished Wizarding Glass yet, as you guys know from watching the video. But maybe I'll do Pet Cemetery, some of the Bill Hodges stuff. Maybe Blaze, maybe World War Z, I got that one. Let me know if I actually got like 15 books from a library book sale the other week. So let me know if you want me to make a book haul of that, because some of them are pretty cool, some of them are a little bit strange, but like just like books that I thought I've like heard of before, like the name recognition. But yes, that's my next challenge. It'll be reading a book every day, and they get longer. So we'll see how far I can get, how long of a book I can read in one day. The goal I think is to read. My goal is to read at least 5 books, which was mostly like a month of like reading for me. So that'll help me catch up on my reading goal, which was 30 for the year, and I'm like 20 right now. But yeah, so that's about it for today. If you liked the video, leave a comment, subscribe, like, share with your friends. I would say comment what you're reading right now and what you're planning to read next. I don't know, just something like that. Anything to engage. Or whether or not you want to see a bookshelf tour maybe before I go off to college. But yeah, thank you. Have a great day, and I hope to see you again very soon. We'll see depending on how long my video takes or how long I go for. Thank you.